Frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I'm not going to lie, I don't know how exactly to feel after that game, but frustrating or frustration is the overriding emotion just because it's 2 points dropped. Simple as that. But if you look at the overall game and if you put it into context, a man down after 15 minutes and a goal down against a good side, a Fulham side who are now top 6, top 8 in the league, then you'd have to say it's a good point. You would. I mean, look, performance first half wasn't good enough. I don't think we started the game badly, but a poor goal to concede, a goal. Granted, I mean, the defending wasn't great before it, but Robbo should block at the far post. And then an absolute brainless moment of madness from Andy Robertson to give away a red card and completely change the entire game. I mean, 1-0 down in that game after 50 minutes, 11 versus 11. I feel very confident of winning that game. And let's be real, okay? If we had 11 men on that pitch today for the majority, we would have won that game. We were the much better team in the second half with 10 men. And look, all I think we can say and all we can completely agree with is the Liverpool team in the second half have to be massively commended today. Fantastic effort, desire, pure fight and belief and character shown from the team in that second half. Because, as I said, that's a good Fulham side. They would be tough to beat with 11 men anyway. But with the predicament that Liverpool were in, yes, right now we might be pissed off. Yes, right now I am feeling that and I am feeling frustrated. More frustrated at Andy Robertson for the absolute stinker that he put in today, because let's be real, he did cost us all 3 points, as I mentioned, but we will probably look at this a while down the road or even over the next few days and say, do you know what, that was a good point. That was a good point. And look, Arsenal dropped points as well, and that is a big surprise. That's a really awful result at home to Everton to drop points, and I didn't see that coming. And I do believe Arsenal are still our main title contenders this season. So it's not all bad today. It just felt at the very end when we got that equaliser, it just felt in the 9 minutes of stoppage time that if we were to get a goal, if we were to get a winner, then that would be the goal you'd look at and at the end of the season and just say, that's exactly one of the moments why we won the league. But you can't be too critical, and ultimately we get a point out of it. Anyway, let's get into today's Liverpool player ratings. Alisson, apart from picked the ball out of his net a couple of times, he wasn't overworked. A couple of routine saves second half. Apart from that, was never overstretched in the entire game. Had a couple of good collections from corners and crosses, came out as always on counter-attacks and balls over the top when he should have. I think decent. He conceded 2 goals today. He was not at fault for any of them, as always. 7. Trent, not great today. Let's be real. Going forward, okay. A bit too ambitious at time with his passing. A couple of passes came off, but most didn't today. Defensively, not very good. He was slow to close down Robinson for the opener. Alex Iwobi certainly got the better of him in the second half and a number of times down his side. And look, we know how good Trent is, but that wasn't a good Trent performance today. I'm going to say 4. Joe Gomez, I thought he was very solid today, genuinely. We conceded 2 goals in that game. It was not the fault of any of our centre-backs, but especially Joe Gomez. Aerially, as always, I thought he was very good. I thought he was good with the ball at his feet. Had a couple of difficult moments in that game, tricky moments, but I thought he got out of them quite well. He was pretty solid for the majority at the back. He wasn't at fault for either of the goals. And yeah, I'm going to say 7. Van Dijk, a little bit shaky early stages of the game. He looked out of his comfort zone, but I thought as the game grew on, he was pretty solid as well. I thought Gomez, I would say, was slightly better today, had more of an impact on that game. But Van Dijk as well had a similar performance to Gomez. He swept up anything that he needed to. Again, he wasn't at fault for either of the 2 goals. And look, not his best, but certainly far from his worst. 6. Andy Robertson. Where do we start? Look, I love Robbo, and I'll always back Robbo. I think he is an absolute club legend. But let's be real, this season, out of all our players, out of all our starters really, he has been the one player that has at times shown himself to be a liability, especially in recent weeks with giving penalties away, and today a red card, not defending well for the first goal, basic defensive duties that he doesn't seem to be able to do anymore. And it's a pity because over the last few games last 2 or 3 games, I felt he was better. But then today, I mean, look, he cost Liverpool 3 points today. He did. It's as simple as that. He should block the first goal. And the second, I mean, he would have nearly been better off letting, I forget which Fulham attacker, Harry Wilson it was. He would have nearly been better off letting Harry Wilson go through and see what happened then rather than give away a red card in that game. Genuinely. It's just a moment of absolute madness, and it will fuel the conversation that we need to invest in a left back as soon as January. And I now would certainly back that. Bring in somebody to at least contest him, because right now Robertson does not deserve to start in this team. 0. Ryan Gravenberch, the versatile Ryan Gravenberch. After the red card, he was playing at centre-back. And you know what? He was excellent. He was absolutely excellent. He showed his defensive skills. He showed his versatility in an absolute abundance. Because anything Fulham threw at him today after that red card, Gravenberch more than seen off with ease. His composure, his ability to read the game is something that is so impressive. I thought he was even better when he moved to his original central role in the second half. Had a huge effect on the game there as well. But look, down the middle today, centrally, defensively today, Liverpool, that's not where Liverpool's problems were. It was down Trent's side and it was down Robbo's side. It was down the 2 wings where Liverpool struggled today defensively. And Ryan Gravenberch filling in that central role to help out Gomez and Van Dijk after that red card was terrific. Second half, as I said, when he went back into his normal role, terrific again. Savage player, unbelievable. I'm honestly going to say 9, even though we dropped points. 9. Curtis Jones, great energy as always. He tried his best as always, but didn't really have the impact that I would have liked to have seen him have today. I mean, look, going forward with the ball, good as always. Couple of bad decisions made in good moments throughout that game. A couple of times where I think he could have picked out a better pass. Second half, he obviously got the booking and he was a little bit more compromised then. But ultimately, it's after him being in such great form, it's a couple of kind of quiet Curtis Jones performances back to back. 6. Dominic Szoboszlai, very, very good. He continues his good form. Genuinely, over the last number of games, I think he has been superb. Honestly, potentially his best form of his Liverpool career. And that was no different today. If anything, after the red card, he was even better. He was getting Liverpool up the pitch. He was confident in bringing the ball. He was confident in possession. He was confident in passing the ball. He created chances. He created a good chance in the first half that Diaz really should have taken. He really should have done an awful lot better. A fantastic whipped, pacey cross into the box that Diaz headed well over the bar. And look, thought that continued. As I said, if anything, it suited him, Liverpool, kind of playing a little bit deeper and more on the counter when that red card or after that red card happened. And I thought he was one of our best players today. I was surprised when Slot took him off when we went down, because I was thinking, well, look, we obviously need a goal. And he was one of the main players today that looked like he could potentially create or score that. 8, Cody Gakpo, as always, like the likes of Curtis Jones, like the likes of Luis Diaz, plenty of energy. First half kind of struggled to have any impact on the game, but second half, very, very good. Made a lovely run for the equaliser just after half time, picked out beautifully by Mohamed Salah, and he was a threat. He was a threat pretty much for the entirety after that. Unlucky in a couple of positions. He had a couple of efforts on goal that maybe he should have done better with, but he did well in the first place to kind of create that space. He was always directly attacking these Fulham defenders. He was making them unsure. And look, I thought he was good. I thought Cody Gakpo was certainly good. Another good performance. Obviously capped off with the goal, and I'm going to say Cody Gakpo gets a 7. Mohamed Salah, quiet first half. Very quiet first half. Look, he huffed and he puffed as he always does. He got the ball. He took on defenders on a good few situations in the first half. A couple where he got the better side of the defenders, but either the cross or a shot or whatever just didn't really come off right. But the second half, a lot better. He certainly impacted the game in a lot greater way. Obviously, a fantastic assist for the equaliser. Great cross from his left foot into Cody Gakpo, giving Gakpo a pretty easy diving header finish. And look, it was far from Mohamed Salah's best performance. Even in the second half, he got in some areas where he usually would do a little better. That didn't really come off today, but Salah was not the reason that we dropped points in this game. He was decent. He tried his best as ever, and as always, contributed to a goal via an assist or obviously scoring. Salah gets a 7. Diaz, not great. Look, he's not completely used to playing in that central role, but he has looked fantastic in a number of games this season in that central role. So you would imagine he would be quite settled in it now at this stage. And look, Liverpool weren't good first half. We were probably a bit shell-shocked after the red card as well. It took us kind of about, really, after the start, it took us about 20, 30 minutes to properly get the ball down, start playing some football and, creating some attacks, or proper attacks again in that game, really actually threatening Fulham. Obviously, Diaz missed, I think, what would be constituted as a good chance in the first half with the header over the bar from Szoboszlai's cross. Second half, seen more of the ball, I would say, but didn't really do too much with it. It was a game where obviously Fulham were very compact through the middle, and I think Diaz struggled with that. I'm going to say 5. On to the subs. Gerald Kwanzaa. I thought his overall performance when he came on was all right, but should he do better for the second goal? Maybe. Maybe it's being a little bit harsh, but I think he has to stop that cross coming in the first place. And look, it was unlucky. I'm not even sure. I haven't even looked. Did that goal go down as Muniz's goal or did it go down as a Gomez own goal? Because Muniz, it looked as if his shot wasn't going on target and it just hit Gomez's heel or something and then went in the other corner. But I think Kwanzaa has to make sure that cross doesn't go in the first place. Apart from that, though, I thought he was solid. I thought his passing was good. He contributed going forward when Fulham had everybody back and they were defending the draw at that stage. So I think it's important not to be too harsh. I'm going to say 5. Darwin Núñez, this is what he has to be used as. I've said this a number of times. I said this during the week. His best role in this team, or what should be his only role, is impacting a game like that off the bench. Making an impact off the bench. Because that's the perfect game for Darwin Núñez. You know what I mean? I mean, literally, a crazy game. Liverpool need a goal. He's coming up against a jaded, tired defence. And he comes in and can create something, can cause chaos, can make them a lot more unsure about holding on to their lead or holding on to whatever they have at that point. And I thought Nunez was good, apart from, a few moments where he probably should have done better. He had that header from the set piece, which, look, wouldn't have been an easy chance, or, you wouldn't even say he should score from there, but I do believe he should do better. But look, he did well for the goal. Nice little turn, good pass to Jota. And Jota, obviously, as always, finished it superbly. This is what Darwin Nunez needs to be used as going forward. I said it during the week, I'll say it again, and he proved that today. 7. Harvey Elliott's added the right energy at a time when we needed, after about 70 minutes or so. His deliveries in the box weren't fantastic, got a few corners, and a couple of them didn't beat the first man. A couple of them Liverpool probably should have done better with as well. But look, as I've always said, technically a fantastic player, good with both feet. He was at times as well also playing on that right-hand side towards the end, where Salah was kind of more central, waiting or looking for the ball. And I thought he was pretty good. He was certainly a good sub to bring on for Liverpool. Maybe he should have been brought on before that. I don't know, because we know Harvey Elliott is very creative and he can cause chances at any time of a game. But decent. 7. And finally, Diogo Jota. Very, very good. It is so good to see him back, man. It is so good to see him back. And let's just hope, please God, touch wood, he will stay fit, because he's enormous for Liverpool. It's chances like that he got in the second half when Liverpool need a goal. And as soon as the ball gets to his feet, this is not going anywhere but the back of the net. And that's Diogo Jota in a nutshell. And if he can stay fit, our chances of winning silverware this season is far, far greater. Came on today, made a huge impact, took his goal very well, and was unlucky to maybe not have another one or create another one or something like that. 8 out of 10. Arne Slot, well, look, we didn't win the game. It certainly wasn't his fault. Look, as I said, I do love Andy Robertson, but we have to be coming to the reality now that he is not the same player. He did cost us the 3 points today. I thought Arne Slot's team selection was good, moving Gravenberg to deeper down to centre back after the red card came off well. I thought his subs were good. If anything, I would have liked to seen a couple of subs earlier. I would have liked to seen Jota earlier, but I get why he wasn't brought in earlier, obviously just coming back from injury. I would have brought him on before Nunez anyway. But look, yeah, I mean, you can't criticise Arne Slot after that. We didn't win, so it's not going to be high, but I will say Arne gets a 7 out of 10. And there is my Liverpool player ratings for today's draw 2-2 against Fulham at Anfield. Ultimately, it is 2 points dropped, but as I said, it could have been a whole lot worse today. And fair play to Fulham. I knew they were a good side before the game. I think Fulham are definitely a top 10 side under Marco Silva these last number of years. They play like it anyway. And if it even was 11 versus 11 today, it would have been a tough game. But yeah, unfortunately, we would have never known what it would end up if both teams did have the maximum amount of players on the pitch. Andy Robertson. No. No, look, it is what it is. We need to get back to winning ways. Obviously, won during the week against Girona. That's fine. Spurs is now a very big game next week. And that's a tough game, regardless of how you look at it. Spurs always seem to play well against us, especially at home. We don't want to make a habit of dropping points. You know, teams like Chelsea, teams like Arsenal can gain a lot of encouragement from that, and who knows what can happen from there. Anyway, of course, I'll be live for the Spurs match and the Southampton match in the Carabao Cup next week, and I will see you all in a bit. Like, subscribe, turn the bell on, all of that if you enjoyed what you have seen, and thanks very much for watching.